Hi, I'm Ted, and this is the Ted G Podcast. I have Bing, my producer, here.
Howdy, partner.
Hey, Bing has a couple of questions that came to mind because he recently had to film shoot one of my broker open houses for a beautiful waterfront listing that is still available in case anyone calls to see it. At
241 Willetts.
The best canal in West Islip. Deepwater canal, yacht dock, and everything. So you joined me at the open house. You did a lot of the filming.
Yeah.
And what'd you think? Was it a fun?
You know, it was great. I've never seen an open house taken like a production.
Oh, really? How tell me what you mean.
It was like you had a quartet, a string quartet. The guy had a string quartet show up, and
a pianist.
And a pianist. How can I forget about the pianist?
Yeah, enunciate when you use that word.
Oh, pianist. Pianist. Okay, that's an even better way to say it, actually.
Yeah, why lie?
That's true. That gets you out of trouble.
Oh, pianist.
Yo, that's so cool. Yeah. But no, he had a pianist, and there was a in-house blackjack player who had a blackjack table, so people were playing blackjack.
Well, my client is a blackjack dealer, and her son, she obviously trained him, and he was nice enough to be the blackjack dealer for our blackjack table, and everyone enjoyed it. He was really great at it. He gave people a lot of tips, a lot of pointers, and I think he made a couple of tips as well. So he was a great kid.
He was a good dude, and I was really glad that he did that. He had a nice little personality to the owners of the home there. And then there was, of course, Dirty Taco, who provided the food.
Yes, it was catered.
Who catered it. And I have to say, the backyard was excellent. It was a very big backyard. And like Ted was saying, the canal was beautiful. It had a nice little deck leading out into the water. Great for swimming if you're, dangerous enough. If you want to get hit by a boat. But it was cool. Yeah. It was a very cool house. And I would buy it if I had the money to. Yeah. But
I mean, there was, on the next one, maybe we'll have to top it with fire juggling clowns.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, circus acts, some live elephants.
If you want it on a budget, I know a couple of crackheads that would douse themselves in lighter fluid and run around.
Hey, it's an option. We'd have to be on the water, so I know I could put out the fire.
yeah, that's true.
So incidentally, that was people did comment about my open house. A lot of the agents that showed up, they felt it was a pretty nice production. Hey, I'm nothing if not an entertainer, so I like an audience.
So when it comes to making like a killer open house, though, how many man hours did you pour into making this happen?
So that one in particular, I probably have to say I spent 40 hours, whether it was texting individual agents, invitations to see the open house. Then there were some Instagram posts to put together. I used footage from my previous open house, the previous month, which actually, by definition, I think that one had an even better turnout. But it takes a lot of man hours, a little planning, a little, on one of them, I actually was there the day before doing all the prep, making sure the wine is ready, making sure, everything's going to be fairly seamless. And I still show up about 2 hours in advance to do some other prep work. One in particular where we knew we were going to have a little bit of a parking issue because the road was a little narrow and I was expecting a pretty big crowd. We went around to the neighbors and apologized and gave them a little lottery ticket and said, we apologize for the parking issue that could occur this afternoon between 4 and 6. And I think they were all good sports. And again, no car accidents happened, so I was happy to hear that. But I love to get a nice turnout to a broker open house. Otherwise, what am I doing there for 2 hours or even sometimes 3? I don't want to be bored. So in the past, I've been doing this 20 years, and I did notice that suddenly my broker open houses would always get a pretty decent crowd, anywhere between 10, 15, which is considered good with no if you're not doing a big production back in the day. These days, I'm not happy unless I get 40 to 48 agents to show up. I actually do have a new goal. I really would like to see 100 agents show up. And a lot of times it has to be, it really does help if it's a very unique property or there's a little, a lightning rod with the property that people want to see. And then, it's also great if you can provide entertainment, a quartet or surprises, maybe on my next one, there'll be some kind of surprise raffle that no one expects. So all good, but in the past, I did enjoy a nice turnout to my open houses because I would go to other people's open houses. I would support the industry. I would support my colleagues, whether they worked in my own office or the competition. And also, as an agent, you're actually supposed to do that. I was taught a very long time ago that it's called knowing the inventory, previewing the inventory, and being aware. I'd love to know what something that's on the market for 2.5, 2.6 million. Okay, let me go check it out and have a perspective. Or I'd love to know, something for 1.6. I also don't mind seeing houses that are 350,000 or 450,000. Previewing the inventory in today's market with such little inventory. Attention sellers, low inventory levels means high sales prices. Okay. So with such little inventory, I technically, by definition, could know all the houses on the market in one town, probably in one afternoon. Certain towns, right now, there's actually one town, I think, Blue Point, it's right near us. I believe they have 0 houses on the market. I don't mind being fact checked.
Wow.
And again, tomorrow there could be 2. So right now there are towns that have single digit inventory and even 0. That means that if someone is looking for one specific town to buy a house, or 2 someone's, you are inevitably going to have a bidding war by going on the market. Back to killer open houses. I always like a lightning rod house. You have something that's enticing about it to see it. In the case of 21 Princess Gate, the lightning rod was the actual house. It's just the coolest house. Yeah, the coolest house on Long Island. And I'm waiting for someone to prove me wrong. Again, preview your homes. And 241 Willett, a very soothing property.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah, you just sit there, you have the water, you have the land, you have your dock. And
the way their living room was set up was cozy.
Yep, very nice, flowing, everything. And there's even a personal sauna.
Yes,
in the home.
That was my favorite feature because I go to the gym a lot and I refuse to step foot in a public sauna because that's just gross.
And some agents, when I invited them, because I didn't only invite agents that sold in that $1 million price point or that area. I invited agents that I know from the industry, and if I'm going to provide food, I'd like them to eat. If I'm providing food and entertainment, I'd like my friends to come eat and be merry.
Yeah.
And a couple of agents, but one in particular said, I wish I had, that's not my price point. And I said to her, what we believe, we manifest. And a lot of times you don't realize it until you're in the house and you suddenly say, wait, my sister-in-law's brother and cousin, I could have sworn they said they were looking for something, crazy. Now you get the vantage point to call them up and say, listen, I know you said you may or may not move if you found the perfect house that had to be on the water or on an acre. I was just in this home, and it's very, you get to say it from experience. It's not, it's a real direct endorsement, not third party endorsement anymore. It's not my colleague Ted said he has a beautiful ranch on the water. No. I was just in it, and it really blew me away. There was one area where the quartet was playing, and then there was another area right in the we call it the entry hall, but it's really more like a lobby. I've seen hotels with smaller lobbies, but then again, I've also stayed at hostels. So the center hall looked more like a lobby in a hotel. So you're speaking from experience, and it really does help. And that's another reason for these broker open houses. My clients, some of them have asked, they said, well, what good is it to have 48 agents? Wouldn't, it's great to have 48 buyers in an open house as well. That's what's good about it. They get to speak from a vantage point of being in the house. They, even by accident, are becoming our best salesmen for our property because they've experienced the home. And when it comes to homes that we can actually attest to say there is an experience, I think it pays off. Actually, I know it pays off because I've had several showings for both properties following these open houses.
Wow. And it's crazy because
it's not cheap either, just so we're clear.
Oh yeah,
no one has ever called me cheap.
Well, it's cool because you don't have to do that either. Like, there's so many open houses where it's just like, yeah, come on in. There's just like a plate of cookies, and they're just trying to pitch you to buy the house. But
I would do that if the cookies had my face on them.
That would be cool. You can actually do that at Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, I know someone that used to do it. Oh, now you can do it at Dunkin' Donuts.
Not with cookies, but with donuts. And Swan Bakery does cookies.
Oh,
with images. So you could technically. We're not getting paid to say this, by the way. Like, it's just genuine facts.
I would almost want to put my listing on the cookie as well, but my face too. Be like split.
You could do like a black and white cookie, half your face, half the listing.
Yeah, exactly. That would be perfect.
That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Take a bite out of real estate.
But this is how you set yourself apart. I mean, there's so many other, like, you know, when I think of an open house, I'm like, all right, you just go through. They're going to try and.
I set myself apart by the gratuitous nudity.
Oh, Jesus Christ! There was no nudity at this open house. I'm just letting you guys know there was no nudity.
So I go to change because obviously, with 2 hours of prep, I expect to sweat a little bit. So I go to change, and I realize that their guest bathroom, this is the bathroom off the pool, off where you would put the pool, didn't have a lock. It was a pocket door, and I'm like, okay. So now I'm thinking, I waited too long to change because there's people in the house, and I'm thinking all I need is someone to just walk in. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute, there's no lock. I even looked, so the pocket door I was like, maybe it's here, maybe there's a trick. Click, 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 click. And I'm like, oh, well, now you gotta risk it.
Now you gotta risk it. That's why, like, I just scream loudly whenever there's not a lock on a door, and I have to do my business. When I'm out in public, I start singing.
Oh, I wouldn't do. So I wasn't showering there.
No. Hey, listen, man, I'm not trying to. I swear to God, I was at a bar. There was no lock on the door, and this guy comes barging in.
They let you in a bar? How old are you?
24, man. Get out of here. Everyone thinks I look 16. Even when I tell people that. You know, I show people my ID, and they don't believe it's real.
And everyone tells me I should be in movies.
You should do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a great way to sell a house. I'll tell you what.
We'll make a movie.
Make a movie about it.
Wow. What I know about real estate is I've never seen an industry so jam-packed with people that wanted to be in the entertainment field.
Get out of here.
Whether it's singers, songwriters, performers of all types, actors, comedians. Comedians. I can vouch that I've came across all of these categories, and I thought about this. This was about 3 years in the business. I'm thinking, hey, so-and-so wanted to be a singer, but Debbie Harry was a singer first. And da-da-da. And I'm thinking, and yeah, I went on a few auditions. I should have gone on more. I went on a few auditions. I'm thinking, holy moly, this place is wrought with like people that wanted to be in the entertainment industry. And then it dawned on me. Of course, it's the one industry that I know of that you can put your own face on a magazine cover, and all you have to do is pay the bill. So I thought about it. I was like, holy moly, no wonder. It dawned on me. I feel that it's an amazing coincidence, but you explain why a singer-songwriter, a wannabe actor, let's see, and amateur comedian could all be in the same office at one given time.
And you know, it's crazy because, you know, they all have these talents, but you don't really see people doing what we're doing here in this office.
I refuse to act.
No, I'm not talking about acting. I'm just talking about putting out a product. Like, this is entertainment.
Oh, really? Oh, I hope it is.
Podcasting is this is an entertaining show.
Well, I'm gonna tell you that all I know is that I refuse to act because I deserve an Oscar. And until I get my Oscar, no kidding. I don't deserve an Oscar. Although maybe I do. I've had some performances in real estate.
We're gonna wait outside the next Oscars convention, and we're just gonna beat the crap out of Tom Hanks, and we're gonna take his.
He's not gonna miss it. And you know he's married to a Greek.
There you go. So now you already have an in. So you can like, say, I found it, you know.
Yeah, he'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Do you speak Greek?
Fluently.
Really?
Almost like a native.
Get out of here. Let me hear it. What the hell? Oh, okay. I thought you were going to be like, no, I'm just kidding, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's all I knew how to speak the first, I actually didn't start speaking until I was 4.
Oh, wow.
So when I was 4, that's when we came to America. But my parents were very conscious of the fact that they didn't want us to forget our language. And so in the house, we actually only spoke Greek. So when I was going to school, I would speak Greek in the house, and I would speak English in school because I also had to learn English. So I actually learned both languages at the same time, which is why I sacrificed having an accent. They say that if you learn a language before puberty, you will not have an accent with it. So for instance, if someone who may come to this country after, like my father came here when he was in his 20s, he had a Greek accent when he spoke English till the day he died, but he actually spoke English for a lot more years. So he was in America for 60 years and he was in Greece for 20. So actually it's true. But anyway, I don't enjoy an accent. I wish I had one. I mean, I could pick one up. I mean, yeah.
Well, that's the cool thing about not having one. You can mold anything. Like and
I'm just barely native speaking Greek. Greeks would notice an accent with me, I think. I try not to. The trick to speaking Greek and not give off that you're not officially I mean, I'm a native by birth, is you actually have to speak it fairly quickly. Greeks speak very quick. The country speaking.
Well, you live in New York, so I mean, you'd probably pass.
Oh, I don't know if I speak. I used to speak faster. I don't know if I speak fast.
You speak fast.
Oh,
you speak fast. Because when I lived upstate for school, I had a Long Island accent, and I spoke very fast. And I tried my best to get rid of it because upstaters hate Long Islanders. And I was like, I don't want to face any problems when I'm up here, especially because in what I was studying at the time, I was studying radio, and they emphasize that you have to enunciate your words, and you have to speak clearly, concisely, and slowly. So, I got rid of a lot of the Long Island accent.
Well, yeah, the moment you start enunciating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That joke flew right over my head.
I don't think I was making a joke.
Were you making? Oh, the way you delivered it, I'm like, wait, was he trying to? Like, I thought, huh?
I know a lot of people always think I'm being funny when I'm not, and a lot of people think I'm being not funny when I am.
Well, you see, that's why you're a good comedian.
And I never tried that. I never tried comedy.
You should try it. Do it on weekends.
Yeah.
And then
really?
pitch your head.
You
Pitch
mean like
21
stand
Princess.
Up? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, hey. Oh, let me show you a house.
Let me show you a house. Here it is, right here. I actually got the magazine. You pull it out of your back pocket like a magician. You have a little pack.
It's an impressive magazine, don't you think?
I really like it. Do you still have it down there?
I don't know. Well, I have a lot of things down there. But Daniel loved it. The photographer who took the photos loved the way the photos looked in the magazine. Yes, yes. My clients, I believe, liked it as well. I left a copy for them.
I mean, people on our Instagram have been really supportive of the pictures. They really liked it, especially on YouTube. Guys, check that one out. That was a few episodes ago. Really great.
Yes, the coolest house on Long Island.
It is really the coolest house. I wasn't even there. I just saw the pictures, and I already know I'd want to be there. So, I don't know. What do you say?
Killer open houses.
Killer open house, man.
Killer open houses. Go into it with a nice sense of humor and an open mind.
And where can they find us?
And a work ethic. They can find us on the Real Ted G podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook. We're everywhere. We never close.
We never close, baby. Monday through Friday, we are uploading.
And thank you to Bing for joining me.
Anytime, my friend.
All right.